So we have a Samsung refrigerator, and the complaint on this one, water on the floor, meaning the fresh food section, water's pooling. So to remove the evaporator cover, you're going to have two screws at the bottom, and then you're going to have two in the center. So you want to take your time with this. If you don't have a steamer, unplug the fridge, get a fan, sit it inside, leave the doors open, and just let it melt. Don't force that cover. You will damage it. It is just made of foam. We have a steamer, and we're going to be using the steamer. Now, if you do have a steamer, if you look at the top in the center groove, where you remove one of the screws, the top screw, I like to concentrate my steam, position it right over that hole, and that's going to dump steam directly into the evaporator cover. You have to be careful when you're using a steamer that you're actually getting behind the evaporator and the cover at the same time. Otherwise, you're just getting the steam between the vent and it's not actually going behind. So keep it there in the center and then work your way down in the bottom hole and then get some underneath where the water is actually dripping down. So few things can cause your Samsung to have a clog drain, and in this case, the customer a while back had installed the drain tubes. Now, the drain tubes are in the back of the refrigerator. You'll see them at the end of the video, and they were not installed correctly. So, give you a little story on Samsung. Their refrigerators, they have a lot of issues. Now, this one wasn't too bad because it was an older unit and it wasn't plagued with much of the issues as the newer units. So, but the drain tube basically protects the refrigerator from warm air being sucked in and also allowing the water that should go behind the compressor to leave. And when that is clogged, then you end up with water dripping down on the floor and a layer of ice inside the fresh food compartment. So first thing first, if you don't have a steamer, you're not able to do anything, go to the back. If your fridge is over 2 years old, replace those drain tubes. I can't tell you much more other than the drain tubes are very ineffective, but they do work usually for a year and a half. We're getting this cover off now, as you can see. And you want to be gentle. Don't yank it. If you have to force that thing, don't take it off. Just wait. You do have a connector up top. You need to undo. Unplug that. Then you can concentrate on getting the drain unclogged. As you can see, there's a layer of ice. And that is also because of the drain tube was not properly connected, thus allowing warm air to be sucked in. When the air is pulled up, it literally seals up, forming a barrier, thus stopping the water from leaving. So we're going to use our steamer and get this thing unclogged. Now, if you don't have a steamer, you can definitely use super hot water. Pour it down that hole. And then once you're done, get a cup of water. Doesn't matter if it's hot or cold. Just make sure that the water is, once you pour it in, make sure it's actually draining. If it's pooling, then you're still clogged and you need to keep pouring the water. Sometimes you can get a long tube, like a vinyl tube, and stick it down in there and just blow if you don't have a steamer. And that will actually melt the ice. Kind of like just blowing back and forth, and that will melt the ice until you're able to get the layer of ice that is in the drain hole unclogged, and then replace your drain tubes and you should be good to go. Also, while you're back there in the drain area, make sure your coils, your condenser coils, those are the ones in the back, make sure those are good. Make sure your fan, all that stuff is running. As you can see, the water is still bubbling as I was blowing out the hole. So that's pretty much it to take care of that, make sure your seals on your door, make sure they're in good shape. If they're cracked or missing, you might want to get those checked or replaced. Those heaters, that little heater clip, don't even worry about it. It doesn't really do much. If your drain tubes are bad, it's just going to pull. Personally, I don't think it does anything. It's a gimmick. So, anyways, enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks for watching. So, as it pulls it up, it's freezing it. So, it doesn't have a chance to drain. Okay. And once the hole is frozen, oh yeah, no water. Once the hole freezes over, so if your unit is older, sometimes while the door is open, you might notice that the lights turn off. Don't be alarmed. Once you turn the unit back on, the lights will come on momentarily. Just let the fridge cool down and the lights will come back on. If you don't want to wait, you can just get some spray, the computer duster spray. I'll show it to you shortly. Spray the sensor up top, and that will turn the lights back on.